Good afternoon. Good to see a lot of people here today. We've got most of the county board, and we'll just start. I'm just going to say a couple of words. I got elected the MC of the program. As you know, this project started quite a long time ago, and Brett will kind of give the instruction or the history of the whole program. But in February of this year was when we passed the resolution at county board to go out and borrow money, and in April we borrowed $43,440,000. And we have to thank Samuel's Group and Venture Architects, and they're both going to talk today also. But I'm glad everybody came, and after we're done, there's some refreshments over here. So first on the agenda is Brett Semmingson with the project history. Kind of stay near these because that's
okay.
The two.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the citizens of Trempealeau County for their support for this project. I had to write this down because I would never remember to say all this if I don't read. So apologize if it looks like I'm reading. I actually did write this myself, though. But thank you to the citizens of Trempealeau County first and foremost, because without their support, we wouldn't be here today. So this is a culmination of many years of research, building attempts, successes and drawbacks. It has not come without controversy over the years, and understandably so. The statistics that I'm about to share are based off my memories of my nearly 32 years with the Sheriff's Office here. The current Sheriff's Office was opened in 1983 with a jail designed to house 30 inmates. I remember as a part-time jailer in 1989, over the Christmas holiday, we were able to house all inmates in 1 or 2 cell blocks. The population was 2 to 6 inmates. The judge at that time would not sentence individuals to start their sentences over the holidays, so we just didn't have anybody here in December. We were even housing inmates from out of county at that time, as far away as Walworth County. We're bringing inmates up to our jail. By the mid-1990s, that changed, and we were having housing issues of our own, as well as other counties. We began to house inmates in other counties. Chippewa County began to see many of our inmates at that time. I'm not exactly sure of the costs associated with housing inmates in other counties, but I do remember hearing that those costs were in the hundreds of thousands of dollars already back in the 90s. The cost to house one inmate for one day in Chippewa County was close to $70. I don't remember how many inmates at that time, but it did add up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. A study was completed and early designs were drawn up, but a project to build a new jail failed to advance. That was not surprising, since we were talking about replacing a building that at that time was only 13 to 14 years old. And that's the current facility we're in now over there. The Wisconsin Department of Corrections granted us a variance to allow us to what we call double bunk, or add bunks to our current cells, even though the minimum square footage requirements were not met. They did so knowing that Trempealeau County was working on a solution to the overcrowding issue. Even with failed construction attempts, the variance was allowed to continue, and we began to house over 40 inmates in a jail designed for 30. This temporarily alleviated our housing crisis. The variance was only a temporary solution and did have a sunset date attached to it. At that time, the added bunks would have to be removed, and our in-house population would have to drop back down to 30 or less again. The variance did not completely remove the need for out-of-county housing either. Sorry about that. In the early part of the 21st century, another jail project began. Another jail needs study was completed and presented to the county board. Options presented including adding on to the current building, building a new standalone jail and sheriff's office, and perhaps even building a whole new courthouse. Those talks even included the possibility of off-site building near the Trempealeau County Healthcare Center, which became contentious over the years. Architects were hired, schematic designs were created, but for reasons I don't remember or may not have even known, the project stalled out. I do remember hearing a number like $50,000 attached to the jail needs study alone way back then. I don't know how much they paid an architect. Shortly after that project stalled, the Wisconsin Department of Corrections allowed the variance to expire, and we had to start housing inmates out of county again. While the cost per inmate per day had dropped at that time, I know that the budget line item started creeping up to nearly $150,000 a year again by the middle of the first decade of the 21st century. In the latter part of that decade, another jail study was completed, again at a cost of nearly $50,000, if I'm not mistaken. Again, an architect was hired and a schematic design was created. This time another option was added, and that was to connect the current jail and any addition to the jail to the courthouse via a secured hallway and elevator. Security in the public hallway became a concern, and removing inmates from that hallway was the answer. We had a couple of instances when an inmate from the jail had been escorted to court and fled from the building on foot during that escort. We are also starting to see an increase in more violent offenders, and hallway security needs had to be addressed. These offenders were often moving amongst victims of their crimes, employees of the building, and court officials. During this building project, an election of county board representatives resulted in at least 9 new members on the county board. Due to public opposition and new representation on the board, the project was quickly stopped, and again, tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands, had been spent on a project that did not advance. Still, the project was going to replace a building that was not even 30 years old. One thing that came out of the most recent failed attempt was a study called the ADG report. That report became an integral part of the current project, and using it saved thousands of dollars. The current project began around 2016, to the best of my knowledge. Again, it was based on jail population and courthouse security. The out-of-county line item in my budget, or the sheriff's budget, had grown to $230,000, and we were commonly housing 15 or more inmates in other counties every day. That cost did not include transportation and wage costs. In 2019, my first year as sheriff, the project began to gain momentum. An attempted homicide case in a previous couple of years really brought the need to consider courthouse security in this project. For every court appearance by this violent offender, law enforcement personnel had to completely clear the corridors when the offender was moved from the jail to the courts. In 2020, COVID-19 exposed serious inabilities to keep our staff and inmates safe. The project became much more about courthouse security and safety of jail staff and inmates than it was about population. Because of restrictions placed on our inmates going to other counties, my staff was left to care for inmates with the most special needs. It has been draining on them. Families of those inmates held in other counties have been inconvenienced due to travel required to visit them. In the late winter, early spring of 2019-2020, the county hired the Samuels Group as a construction manager. With their assistance, we were able to put together a very robust and community outreach program to make sure the citizens of Trempealeau County had an easy way to get informed and keep informed of this project. I feel we were as transparent as we possibly could have been. I believe the reason this project is moving forward was because of the transparency, resulting in very little opposition from the community. The project addresses jail population, the needs of the court, space needs of the entire courthouse, and the ability to get all agencies under one roof again. But most importantly, it addresses the safety and the security of those who work and live in that building. I want to thank the county board for their undivided attention to this project. I also thank the Samuels Group, and this is a poor place for a break, and Berner Architects for their hard work and dedication to this project. But most of all, I want to thank the community of Trempealeau County for their support, and my staff and for all their hard work that has made this project a reality. Thank you.
We thought this was a good place to have a little interlude. So I told Shelley from Samuel's Group that we had music today. And this is the music. It's my new face mask. That's all the music we're going to get. So, next up is John Austin, County Board Chair.
I too want to thank everybody for coming. It's a big honor for me to be part of this. I want to thank the board, the Building Oversight Committee, and a special thanks to Tim Ziegler, who basically got this all started when he was county board chair 2 years ago. So anyway, a big thank you to Tim. Anyway, there you go. I do think so today we wouldn't be as far as we are if it hadn't been for Tim. And I do want to thank the community support. It's surprising. We've had more county controversy over a face mask policy and sanctuary county policy than we did over this $43 million project, which I found unusual. And I have to apologize to the sheriff because I was one of them against building a jail in the past. But now we had almost unanimous. I think we had one dissenting vote on the whole county board. So I want to thank everybody for coming. Enjoy lunch.
Next up is Chuck Wallock, who's the chair of the property committee.
Welcome to everyone, and thank you for attending the formal kickoff for this outstanding project. The project has been discussed for over 20 years, and we are now set to get the ball rolling. There are people that are not in favor of this building project, but many of the attendees at the informational meetings held in regards to this project can see the true need for this new facility. The longer we put this project off, the greater the expense we will realize. The federal and state government are putting more and more responsibilities on the county government. With these increased responsibilities comes the need for more staff and more room in our government centers. Changes in the way people are handled, especially in the jail, have increased the duties of many of the working staff in our facility. A quality facility will also enhance our probability to attract quality employees to serve the citizens of our county. Many people have already put in countless hours to make sure the project is done right. We've had many county board supervisors that have worked to get this project started. Since the start of talks about the project, many county supervisors, county employees, community, and county residents have been involved in many meetings to make sure we can accomplish all of our goals and everything is done right. A big thank you has to go out to the officials from the city of Whitehall for their cooperation with the county officials to make this project something that will benefit the county as well as the city of Whitehall. As this project has progressed, we have definitely witnessed people that are building bridges rather than walls. One final thank you to all the groups that have given their expertise in the design of the structure that will meet the needs of Trempealeau County for many years to come. Thank you.
Next up, we do have the mayor of Whitehall, Jeff Hauser.
Keep it close to your mouth. Close to my mouth. 2 minutes, huh? Under. Chuck and I have a unique perspective on this site here because we both taught in the building that stood here. I started here 40 years ago at this building, and many of you don't even know this, but at the time we were busing kids from here up to the far end of the street to the high school that had the industrial arts and the music and ag and the business ed were up there. So every school hour of the day, buses went up there and back. And for some reason, the school thought they better modernize that kind of thing. So they upgraded and consolidated things up there, and it took them about 20 years to do that too. But it's up there, and you can see the building now. Everything's consolidated under one place. So the county now, in a similar fashion, is doing that same kind of thing. They're modernizing and upgrading and making things better. So and keeping things consolidated here. So from a county resident and a city standpoint, I think that's wonderful. And I have to say, I've been on the project committee, and I've been very impressed with the people that have been working on this thing. Them that's been hired and them doing the hiring too. I think the county people and the Samuels and Venture people have been diligent, conscientious, attentive to detail, trying to be good wards of the taxpayer money. So I have every confidence that the project will move forward. So thanks everybody who's been involved and who's here tonight.
Next, we have our Circuit Court Judge, the Honorable Ryan Radke.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ryan.
Go that way because the other mics are there.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Ryan Radke. I'm the. A little higher?
Almost.
Oh, all right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Ryan Radke. I'm the Circuit Court Judge here in Trempealeau County. I've been asked to make a couple comments. I'll be real brief. This groundbreaking symbolizes the county board's commitment to protecting the public as they access the court system here in Trempealeau County. I also see it as a symbolism of the investment of protecting and keeping safe the Trempealeau County employees. There's been a lot of talk about safety in the courts, and I believe this project will certainly address a lot of those areas. And so I thank the county board. I'd like to just thank everybody who's been involved and worked really hard in this project so far. The property committee, the building project committee, all the staff, Samuel's group, the venture architects, everybody who's been involved thus far has put a lot of work and effort in. And I know there's a lot of work yet to be done, and so I thank you all for your work. Thank you.
Next, we have John Kane, who is the chief architect on this project from Venture. I'm going to stay near these two, so and you've got to have it pretty close.
Is that good enough? Can you hear me? Okay. Well, it's wonderful to be here. Again, my name is John Kane. I'm actually the principal on the project. I'm not the chief architect because there are, in fact, 30 other people in Milwaukee and Madison who have been working on this project, and many of those will probably never come to see any of you. But they will get here at some point, I know. We'll bring them all in a bus. I think in the 40 years that I've been doing this, I have never been asked to speak, and I think there's probably a reason for that. So I will be rather brief. This is certainly a very special day for all of you who are here. Every one of our projects is special, and this one in particular is truly unique. Thank you to the board who's committed the funds and the support for this project. All of the staff, many of you we know personally now over the many months that we've been working on this, and we still have lots of wonderful months to go ahead. So I just want to be brief and again congratulate all of you. You've done a wonderful job. Thank you.
And next up, we have Kurt Berner, who is our construction manager. Is that the right title?
It is, yeah.
Oh, okay, I got the right one there with the Samuels group.
Good evening, everyone. If I look at the time, we have just over an hour and a half. That if you all grab a shovel and we start digging the footing line, we'll save money on our first bid pack. And if you do enough work and you do well, we've got food over there. If you don't get to eat. But I joke, but again, it's great to be a part of the project. I want to thank you for selecting us to help be your partner through this project. And as many people have said, the efforts that have been collaborative on this project are second to none. The city of Whitehall and Jeff and Ashley and all of those from the utility side has been exceptional. The staff from the county side and our design meetings, they've been very conscientious about the decisions that need to be made that are cost effective. Something that's going to live a lifetime. When I first met with the property committee, the discussion was we need something that's cost effective, something that's going to last us 50 years, and something that is efficient in regards to how the government offices function. And that's what's going to be built here. We're thankful for everybody, thankful for the county board. The building oversight committee, they put in a lot of hours. And that building oversight committee, which was comprised of county staff, county board members, we had community members that were there. We had city representation on there. It was just phenomenal. And that's what we're going to carry forward through the balance of this project is coordinated efforts from all of the contractors that are here to be able to properly represent the county. So thanks again. Venture has done a great job. Thank you for everything that you've done there. And we look forward to this being a successful project. Thanks.